Hello everyone, welcome to my latest MyTeam video where we are once again starting with an invitational event. This time it is an overtake event around the circuit of the Americas. We did fairly well in this race last season, not as well as we did last time out though in Bahrain, where we got our second ever podium. The alternate strategy proving how overpowered it is once again, earning myself third position. That means we are now 6th in the Drivers' Championship, the team are 4th in the Constructors, and after this event we'll have the Vietnam Grand Prix, one of the trickiest circuits on the F1 calendar. So let's get this event out of the way and see if we can get that extra acclaim and cash. This is going to be a bit closer than I would have liked, but we've just about done it then. In this Ferrari, sneaking past the McLaren at the end, a bit like the 2007 Championship really, so that challenge is passed. Nice and easily for us, gets us a bit of extra acclaim and cash. Let's see how Vietnam qualifying goes. See what we can do then around the Hanoi Street Circuit, and this might be the only F1 game we get to see the Hanoi Circuit, of course, as we've gone way too deep into the first corner, seeing as it is not on next year's F1 calendar. So see how we can do around here then. I've gone for quite an aggressive straight line strategy. I want to be fairly quick in the straights around here as there's plenty of overtaking opportunities. Practice, compared to some of the other sessions that I've had so far this season, practice did not go too badly at all, so maybe, just maybe, we can have one of our best qualifying sessions ever. Not the cleanest one. That roundabout section at turns 6, 7, 8 and 9, now this long straight, long flat out section, pretty much showing why I want to be quick in the straight line, because you need a lot of straight line pace down this bit, late on the brakes as possible. It's very similar to China, this hairpin and then slight left-hander afterwards, whereas at China it's a slight right-hander. Then you've got this 90-degree section ready for the part of the track I think everyone hates the most, the S's at the end, where it is really easy to lose a lot of time, really easy to lose part of your front wing as well. You can see I've gone in a bit deep there. That's going to compromise the next bit of the corner. What sort of time is it going to be here at Vietnam? The car feels a lot more comfortable than it did in some of the practice sessions, as I've just tapped the wall on the outside there, and we've snuck our way up, I believe, into 13th position at the end of the session. Not fantastic, but not too bad considering it is a very tricky circuit.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Bottas, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Nick just ahead of us once again. He seems to do better in qualifying than he does in the race, but I'm in 13th place, Nick in 12th, my rival Sebastian Vettel in 9th, but again, I'll have the alternate strategy. All those in the top 10 won't. So that's how we're going to plan to gain places. That's how we got a podium in Bahrain. And it might just work once again here.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Lance Stroll and Kvyat, Leclerc, Vettel, Albon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Sergio Perez, Sainz, De Vries, the owner driver, and Gasly, Norris, Ocon, Romain Grosjean, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Russell, Latifi, and Dorian Boccolacci. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Didn't gain anything then, thanks to penalty, so we will be starting in 13th place with Nick alongside us, theoretically on the clean side of the grid, so maybe we might be able to gain a few places into turn 1 like we usually try to do. And we're going for a 2-stop strategy, starting on the mediums and 2 sets of soft tyres towards the end. Might change things depending on how the race goes, but let's get underway, see if we can get another podium possibly. I think that's going to be very difficult. Hopefully though we can pick up some points, and it'd be nice if Nick could as well. Underway then here at Vietnam, and it looks like we are just going to get blocked off ever so slightly into turn 1, as I think are a few of the other cars though. We've got ahead of Albon, who must have had an absolutely shocking start in that Red Bull, and he's now trying to go all the way around the outside of me. Hopefully I've not picked up any front wing damage in that. In fact, he's still there in the Red Bull, and because of that I've had an absolute shocker of an exit here, and I might have to try and sneak my way all the way around the outside here into turn 6 and 7. Managed to get that move done very late on the brakes. Very late on the brakes indeed for myself there. Now get a good exit out of this corner, because I've got some pretty damn handy straight line speed. It's fair to say, you can see me there, even though Albon's in my slipstream, I am able to pull away ever so slightly, so that could become handy later on in this race. There's going to be some big battling happening up ahead with Vettel, Perez and Sainz. In fact, I'll be able to chuck a nose in there on Vettel, and it's a good job that Ferrari was there, because it stopped us having an enormous spin coming out with a hairpin. But it looks as though we've managed to survive the first lap of Vietnam somehow, which is always an achievement, being such a tough circuit. Anyone who's played this game and driven around here knows that quite often you end up breaking the front wing. I'd say one of the top 3 trickiest circuits on the game, alongside Baku and Monaco. That is lap 1 complete though. We have gained a couple of positions on the first lap. We're up to 11. That looked cool. It wasn't fast, but it looked cool. Vettel has either had a mistake or he's got a problem, because all of a sudden I've closed right within DRS range of him. And this could be a very straightforward DRS pass on the brakes into the hairpin. He's still on his inside. Fair play to me. Fair play to him. He's still trying. But I've got the move done. I'm now up into the points, up into 10th place. Nick's been moving his way up as well. He's got past Alex Albon, but he's just been repassed by Esteban Ocon. So we're making moves in this race. 1 lap 7. First pit stop of the race then, going onto the soft tyres. We were in 3rd position. I imagine we'll drop to round about where we were before the pit stop. Around about 10th place, might drop a bit further because of the undercut. We'll have to wait and see. Quite a long pit lane here in Vietnam, but because of the way you sort of skip the final couple of corners and sort of miss the first corner entirely, it doesn't actually cost you exit now time, despite you being in the pits for, as you can see here, it's been what, 33 seconds.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
33 seconds I was in the pits, and I have come out behind Esteban Ocon, so did lose a bit of time there in that pit stop period. Down in 12, don't know whether anyone else has to come into the pits. Hopefully though, we'll be able to get up past these guys and then see what we can do in free air on the softs. So I've got a bit tasty there between Russell and Ocon, and thankfully I'm able to get past the Alfa Romeo as well without too much force. Wasn't the best line through that corner. It doesn't mean I'll be able to put Ocon under a lot of pressure into this chicane, but as long as I don't do anything silly, I might be able to get a good run on him through this, the roundabout as I call it, 6, 7, 8 and 9, as long as I can stay right on his rear end. Use the ERS on the exit, we'll have the DRS, might be able to get myself up into the top 10 here. You can already see me closing in just in the slipstream. Now the DRS opens, There's not a lot Esteban Ocon can do about that. We're up into the points once again. We're back up into 10th place. Got a bit of free air. Can we catch up to Carlos Sainz? Right on the back of Sainz, but I think Kvyat has made a mistake somewhere, which is going to ruin our chances of getting ahead of the McLaren down this next straight. So I can do with these guys pitting fairly soon now, just because I think they might start holding me up as they start battling. I'm wondering if Kvyat has just tapped the wall somewhere because he's lost a couple of seconds on the last lap. We're still in 10th place, though overtaking Carlos just became a bit harder than I thought it would be. I wonder if I can chuck a nose up the inside there of Sainz, and Kvyat again has had a bit of a moment. So we've got past Carlos Sainz, now burn all of our DRS. Both of us are going to have DRS down this next straight. And I might have just got ahead of Carlos, which could prove to be crucial because he's not going to hold me up this next section now. Although I have a feeling the AlphaTauri of Kvyat probably will. He locks up there. I get a bit happy on the right front coming out of the corner. I'm up to 9th, not the smoothest move I've ever pulled off, but it is an overtake. Hopefully Kvyat either comes into the pits this lap or I can get past him pretty soonish. Try and use the rest of the grip these soft tyres have got before I have to come in for my second pit stop, and there we go. Kvyat does come into the pits. Final pit stop time. Where are we going to come out? And this does just feel like an age. We were in 4th place before we came into the pits. Before everyone else started coming in, we were in about 8th, 9th, 10th position. So anything around there would be okay. Leclerc, Perez, Ricciardo are going to fly past me.
Release.
Pretty clean stop from the pit crew. Kvyat's going to fly past me as well. He's on hard tyres.
That was our last stop. No
As
more
is
scheduled
Sainz,
pit stops.
and Ocon is on the mediums, and we're going to come out very close to this battle. Very close indeed. We've come out just ahead of them. That could be crucial. We've got 9 laps, we've got free air, we're 8.5, nearly 9 seconds behind Daniel Ricciardo. Gonna have to go some to catch him, but I'm gonna give it my all.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
That is how hard I am having to push to catch up to Ricciardo and Perez, because they keep swapping DRS every lap. They're staying within a second of each other, which means they're slightly pulling away through the 3 DRS zones, and I've just got to push really hard. I've already had a warning from Jeff that these tyres have got to last until the end of the race, and it does actually look like maybe for the first time Ricciardo is at risk of falling more than a second away. If that happens, should be straightforward to get past him, and who knows, maybe we can get Perez as well. 5.5 laps to go, still in 8th. That was a pretty aggressive move, but it's a move I felt I had to make.
Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds per lap.
Didn't have much breathing space in that manoeuvre, if we're being honest, Jeff. We've got that place though, we are up into 7th. Perez is our next target. I think we can get him. I think any higher, like catching up to Leclerc, is just going to be a bit too far.
Caution.
Throwing everything at this move on Sergio Perez. He's going to defend the inside. I'm going to have to see if I can brake a lot later than the Racing Point driver, which I'm just about able to do. Go all the way around the outside. So that is another place. We're now in 6th. It is the final lap of this Vietnamese Grand Prix, which has gone a lot better than the one in Season 1 where it was throwing it down all race, and I think the only car I overtook after the first lap in that race was Racing Point, and one a bit laps to go. We've overtook a racing point here, but this time it is going to get us some points, hopefully. I just need to be a bit careful because the AI always seems to have an absolutely fantastic final lap for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but they always seem to fly up to the back of me on the final lap, so I am just being a bit careful here to make sure that Perez doesn't surprise me out of nowhere and take that 6th place, I should say, back off me. Very good result then for us. Obviously not as good as we got in Bahrain, but that's because the alternate strategy doesn't quite have that same power around here as we did go for 2 stops. Had to make a few overtakes in the end, and I just wonder if this race...
in front is 2.4 seconds.
Just got to wonder if this race could have been maybe slightly different if I hadn't gone stuck behind Sainz and Kvyat when I did, because I spent about a lap getting past Sainz after I caught up to the back of him. Maybe if I'd been able to get past him a bit quicker, who knows, I could have been hounding Leclerc, possibly even Stroll in the final few laps, but I'm very happy with a 6th.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
I imagine that's got us driver of the day again, like we always do. Be nice if you could get some sponsor bonus for getting driver of the day. I'd be loaded. By now we'd have the best car on the grid.
So
Yeah, Mercedes getting a win again. It's amazing, that isn't it? How dominant they are on this as well as in real life. 6th place then. I think we got a bit of luck with unreliability. I think Vettel had a few problems. I think Kvyat retired from the race as well. Hamilton with the win. Verstappen in 2nd. Bottas in 3rd.
Victory for Mercedes.
Stroll 4th. Charles Leclerc coming home in 5th. And us getting 6th.
Let's review the drivers' standings. Max Verstappen's excellent result today.
Nick's got a point.
Take over as leader of the Drivers' Championship.
Nick's got a point.
Discuss, Ant, who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
I'm going to give it to the owner driver today. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
That is a big margin what Hamilton won by, but look at that. Nick managing to get his first point, the first point any of our teammates have got while we've been here. I now move up to 5th in the championship and I'm only 1 point behind Albon. I'm surprised I'm only 26 points off the top, to be honest, and Nick moves up to 15th. Look at that. 15th position. He's ahead of Vettel, who again had a bit of a nightmare race. The team moves up to 5th ahead of Renault in the championship, and we're only 8 points off of 3rd place. Who knows how this season could go. That was a bit of racing I was expecting. After the first few laps, I wasn't expecting Nick to manage to get himself into the points. Like I said, maybe the problems at Vettel and Kvyat helped him out, but they all count. Very good result. Our first ever double points finish in MyTeam. And I'm sure Claire will have an amazing questions from us, like she always does.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
We were cutting our way through the field.
You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
Magic has happened. That's the easiest way of putting that. Magic.
Appreciate your time.
Vietnam. I seem to get the setup right in between second and final practice. First and second practice I felt absolutely awful, and I was way down the field, and then I just seemed to find a bit of pace in that final practice session. We're really beating Sebastian now in the rivalry, 16-11, and we seem to have the upper hand in race pace, most definitely. Get a bit of a climb boost. It's going to be a bit more of a slog now to work our way through that, and we should hopefully get a nice bit of cash as well. I wonder if we get double because both of our drivers got in the top 10. Nah, that's a bit too wishful thinking, I think, from myself, but 50k damage deductions, that'll be from every practice session with about 100 flashbacks. We've got a bit of extra money. We've got both cars in the points, and we're moving our way up in the drivers and the constructors championships. Can we keep moving our way up at round 4 of a season, a track that I usually do quite well at if I'm being honest, for Chinese Grand Prix. I wonder if we can maybe, just maybe, show that we've got a slim chance of possibly even being a title contender. It looks like it's going to be difficult because the two Mercedes and Max Verstappen look by far the best, as they do in real life, but I'm going to give it my all. Let's see what we can do at the next race for Chinese Grand Prix. But for now, thank you for watching and goodbye.